everybody? Welcome back into another day in the life of a reseller. Thank you guys for joining us today. What is up, Andrews? Thank you for joining in early. Appreciate it. Got a few people in here, so thank you guys so much for all of your guys' support. It is episode, I think, 18, number 18, which is crazy. I feel like I haven't been doing it this long, but thank you guys for all of you, especially those of you who are in here almost every single week. Even if you're not, I appreciate you being here, but those of you that support like crazy, I couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you so much for all that support. We are trying something a little bit different today. Got a different kind of setup here. As you can see, we've actually got a whole bunch of packages kind of pre-done, and we're going to talk about that here in a second while we're doing that. But just wanted to give you guys an idea of kind of what we're trying. We're trying out a few things with these streams for a couple of reasons, and we'll dig into that here in a minute. But we'll start on a couple other things before we dig into that. Let a few people get in here. But thank you guys once again. Like I said, episode 18. It's been a long time. It's crazy to think of that as something that's been going on for this long. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Just gotta make sure. Always got to be on alert. All right, so we're gonna get started today. Like I said, we're doing things a little bit different. I actually do have a lot of stuff pre-packaged, so I've got labels on them. I've got everything good to go. All I'm going to be doing is showing you guys what it is and sealing the box up or package up and shipping it out. There's a couple reasons for doing this. Number one, it's going to speed up the stream, which is not because I don't want to hang out with you guys. I actually don't want the streams to necessarily be shorter, but what I am running into is I'm tending to be way too long, going past the 2-hour mark, which is fine on some days, but certain days I have other stuff that I have to get done that day. And I just need the option basically to finish up on time or early. And I've not been having that because of how we've been setting up. Now, there's another reason for this, and this is because of kind of a thing that I've always kind of considered that might be a factor in the eBay algorithm. I don't know if it actually is. And Adam over at Millennial Profit posted on his Instagram, he's been checking this out too because he feels like it kind of changes things. And that's going to be shipping more often than like every 2 days or whatever. So for most of us, I think a lot of people run 2-day handling time. There may be some that run 1 day. But definitely I feel like a lot of us that do 2-day and basically will ship, 3 days out of the week, which is great for like me, because that way I can focus on other things other days. Now I do tend to ship every day when I can, but over the weekends, I normally just let them build up, the orders build up. That way we have a lot of stuff we can show you guys, today. But with that, I feel like we might be hurting ourselves just a little bit in that algorithm thing. It seems like every time you go and ship some orders that seems like an increase of orders that come in after that. Could be a complete coincidence, but Adam's actually seen a big increase in his store. I've been doing it, like I said, I normally do ship every day, except for the weekends. So we're trying it on the weekends to see if we can just boost those sales up a little bit, and we'll see if it helps. Like I said, I don't know for sure. I haven't seen just a crazy increase, but this is the first weekend that we've done it, so we'll see if we continue to do it. With that being said, like I said, what we basically have done is, for instance, this item here, I'm not going to show you the label itself, but we've already scanned it in. It's already showed ship and everything on eBay, and all we have to do now is just package it up and let it go. So we're going to try that out, but like I said, that's also going to allow us to have a little bit more time to just talk versus constantly feeling like I'm, going back and forth, so to speak. I feel like my camera is moving on me. Give me 1 second here, guys. I feel like I'm having to go over. Let me adjust it real fast. Let's see if I can do this on the first try here. Oh, maybe not. There we go. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. I don't know what's going on with it. It feels like I'm like looking over here all of a sudden, but no, I think it's going the wrong way. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, sorry. Technical difficulties already. Yeah, so we're giving that a shot. But like I said, that's also going to allow us to do some more talking, where I don't feel like I'm rushing and kind of, getting sidetracked and stuff. And also hopefully going to allow us to explore some more options that I can do like on the computer and stuff like that as part of the live streams. We had a couple of comments last week that mentioned, doing some just kind of some overviews on online sourcing, OA, or doing listings and stuff like that. And I would love to be able to show you that, but honestly, with how many packages I have going out on a weekend, I just don't have enough time. So hopefully this will speed it up. We're testing it out today to see how much time it actually saves us. And then we'll hopefully be able to do a little bit more with it in the future. Let's get caught up on the comments. Andrew said, wonder if it would make sense to hold more packages back. Like even if it's all sold in one day, do some one day and some the next day. Make sure you have packages every day ship. It's a good question, Andrew. I don't know. I would think that eBay, I mean, okay, let's be honest, eBay doesn't exactly make sense. But I would think they would want to see quick shipping after, kind of like a timer. Once the order comes in, the faster you can ship it within a time frame after that order comes in would be better. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what it would seem like it would make sense to me. So I don't know if holding would be better. With my particular orders, like I said, I do, I don't know. I don't have the number on the top of my head because I did it this way, but we've got at least probably 30 orders, 40 orders going out this weekend. It was a pretty standard weekend for me. And so I feel like, I don't really have a problem with getting orders in throughout the day. I could ship orders, 5 times a day probably, but we're going to just try it doing once or twice a day, doing the shipping and just see if that helps. But it's a good idea. I don't know. Like I said, eBay is crazy. This week has been absolutely insane for me. I had a great weekend last weekend. Come into like Tuesday, Wednesday, literally had like 3 sales on Tuesday and Wednesday each. I have no idea why. Nothing changed. Like I have done nothing different on my eBay store. Same amount of listings going up, same amount of the sale that's running and all that stuff has not changed. But for some reason my sales tanked really bad. And then they came right back up to normal on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I've had like a completely normal weekend back to where we normally were. I don't understand eBay. It really makes no sense. What's going on, Recon? Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. eBay loves quick shipping. Kept printing labels as they sold this weekend and my sales went wild. Honestly, I feel like it could be a thing. Now that's a pain in the butt, and especially on a weekend. I mean, obviously, some of us, I don't mind shipping on a weekend if I have nothing else going on, but I don't want to have to worry about that or in my mind. And if I know it's going to make my sales go crazy or be increased, I'm going to do it. And I know that's going to be a pain because I'm not going to want to go do something else. So hopefully, and maybe I'm hoping that if I do shipping, like maybe ship in the morning and then ship in the afternoon, that sort of thing, it'll help out. Like I said, this weekend I don't really feel like I've seen an increase except for last night. So basically, I did shipping yesterday in the morning and then last evening as well, I believe. And last night I had, I think, 4 or 5 sales come in, which normally I don't get sales overnight. So that's something that may have increased. I don't know. Maybe that's proof of it. I don't know. But it is what it is. So we're going to start off. Like I said, we've got a lot of orders to do. We do have some, as you can see. I've still got some labels, so we do still have some that came in overnight that we can get out today. But we're just going to jump right into it and see if we can't start. And we're going to start with eBay because if that is the case, why not get some more orders going out, or hopefully some more orders coming in while we do this. Also, Andrew, if you're in here, your package is going out. It's sitting on the porch. I will get you that tracking number in a little bit here. But we do have that going out for you. Andrew picked up a couple of bulk deals that I posted over on Bread and Butter. So thank you to him for helping me move some inventory. Literally, I told him on a couple of them, I literally am just trying to clear space. We're going to talk about that here in a minute as well. It's been crazy, a crazy week. All right, but first, let's get the first order going out. These are some Nike Revolution 6s from the Kohl's clearance event. I think I just picked these up last week, actually. Are these zip tied? No, okay. Or not last week, but whenever the last Kohl's event was, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So these are just a white Nike with a silver. Yeah, these are the silver ones. Okay. And I'm actually grabbing the wrong order, but we'll ship this one anyways. White Nikes with the silver check. Really kind of neat running shoes. I mean, these are pretty basic Nikes. We picked these up for 35. No, sorry, half of 35. So what's that? 17.50, which is crazy for Nikes. This was one of those leftover pairs from a previous event that nobody picked up or got returned or something. So really nice pickup here. We sold these ones for $60. So 17 into 60 is a pretty good chunk. Now you'll see in some of my other sales that we'll show you here in a little bit. I guess we'll wait and talk about that then. No sense of bringing it up now. But yeah, so these are going out. I'm going to tie up these laces real quick since we don't have the paper inside. And not a bad pickup. Like I said, I mean, Nikes for this cheap, you can't really go wrong. But we definitely want to keep finding these. We got another Kohl's clearance event coming up. I'm not going to share those dates. You have to join Bread and Butter for that. But a little teaser, we do have another Kohl's clearance event coming up, and it's going to be crazy, I think. I think it's going to be good. We'll see, though. What's up, Joshua? Thank you for joining. Hope you're doing good. I am doing great, brother. I appreciate it. Pretty good weekend. Actually got a lot accomplished, and I guess we could talk about some of that. Basically, I had so much inventory that it was all over my house, and again, had to go through and try to find some more storage. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I hate to be that person, okay? I'm not trying to always plug my Instagram. I feel like an influencer. Go follow me. The whole reason I share it all the time is because I literally can post photos up there and show you guys what's going on without having to do like a video, and it's a little easier than trying to put it in my streaming software. I know I could do that, and I need to figure that out, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have been swamped with work trying to get things back up and running. Again, another part of the video that we'll talk about here in a minute, but this week, my goal was to get the inventory out of the house, basically. So we worked on that. I actually ended up finding some more storage space in my garage. I had to rearrange some things, condense some shoes that have sold, and so on, and was able to get most of it out there. I do have a stack of Converse in my kitchen still, but other than that, all the shoes are out in the garage now, which is nice. However, this is a weird box. However, we did have... I still have some inventory in the living room as far as hats and incoming inventory, basically stuff that I haven't been able to process yet. So we've still got some of that we're working on. But that was the whole goal of this weekend, was to just get in there and actually get some cleaned up. Sorry, guys, this may make a bunch of noise. I do apologize. Using the 3-inch tape gun on this box. Oh, that's so loud. I hope that wasn't loud for you. It looks like it was. I'm so sorry, guys. Next time I'll mute. We're just reusing a Journeys box, and for some reason they use these weird ones that are short, so we had to use a 3-inch tape. But this one is going out. Let me grab this order real quick, and then we'll continue talking about all the stuff we got going on. Ted in Weatherford, Texas. All right, Ted, where is your label? There you are. So much easier when you only have like 10 labels to work through. This might work really well, guys. What's up, Falcon X? I feel like I should know who that is. Actually, it says maybe you just joined the other account. I just posted a question about storing inventory in my garage and ask Brendan Bread and Butter. Hopefully your expertise and everyone will be helpful. Oh, I'm sure you'll get some help. You're going to get a lot of different help. I'll be honest. Everybody has a different idea of how to store inventory. So you're going to get a lot of different advice, and basically just go with whatever you get. But I'll check it out after the video if I can remember and see what you guys had questions. But who knows, I may answer some of it here. Let's get this one out of the way and get started here. So like I said, we're organizing inventory, getting all that set so that we can bring some more in and hopefully get in some better, faster selling inventory. My mind's going 100 miles an hour. I've got like 3 different topics that I want to talk about, and I keep trying to jump to the other. What's up, Goon? Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. But yeah, so we worked on getting all that done this weekend. The same way with this week, that was the whole thing of trying to get, just trying to get everything processed and back to normal, because it's been crazy. Like I've been come back from like my long 4 or 5 day vacation or whatever that we had over the weekend, and I am just like swamped with stuff. I don't know how. I went from literally having nothing. I got caught up on all my listings, was ready to go, hit the ground running, and got back and got just swamped with inventory because we had some crazy sales and stuff, and just trying to get it all in. It took me a day literally to get all that inventory into my garage and fit in and stuff like that. And like I said, if you do follow me on Instagram, you'll see my post. We actually turned one of our spare bathroom, well, not one, but the spare bathroom in our house into a storage unit, basically. And I posted a picture over there of that last night. But hey, it's working. I mean, we don't ever use the bathroom, so might as well turn it into some storage. We've got some really neat Nike golf cleats here. These are the Air Zoom Victory Tour 3s, and these are going out, don't know the name, Long Island is where they're going, but these are actually a small size. These are only a men's 5.5, but they sold for $130, and as you can see, we paid $35 plus tax. So great flip on this one. Not all of them are great, guys. Let's be honest here. They've tanked the crap out of these. A lot of these from like your Burlingtons and Marshalls, and I think we did pick these up from Burlington. But certain ones are going to be worth money, so always check them out if you are. Let's get caught up on the comments. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for all the comments. Let's see. Andrew said, I've been using a storage container tub for clothing, but thinking about using clothing racks instead. Pros, cons if you try both. So I use totes for my clothing, but that's because a lot of my clothing is brand new. Well, this isn't a great example, but you can see these are all clothing items in here. A lot of them are brand new in like plastic wrap that haven't been taken out of the plastic yet, like my Adidas stuff. So that's why I tote it. But honestly, I could see if you're doing like a lot of shirts and stuff like that, I could see definitely using a clothing rack. It's going to take up more space, to be honest. I mean, obviously, you know, you can fit a lot of clothes in a tote, whereas when you hang them, you don't get as much in there. But I could see it being helpful, especially with picking. Like if you have a lot of clothes, I could definitely see it helping with picking. Just makes it so much easier because you can actually see what's going on. Polly, what's up? Or sorry, I way misread that. Grim, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining in. Let's see. Shelby says, "Hey, Delco, watching you a while at a granddaughter's birthday party." Thanks. Hope I'm not taking you away from that. Enjoy your time with your granddaughter. Family's everything. But thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Just a nice Recon. I have a full-time job now, and I usually am good about listing, but all these events is swamping me. Yeah, I keep buying and not listing. I feel you. I feel you a lot there. Like I said, that's how I felt. Oh shoot, I'm using the wrong gun again. We're not gonna use the 3-inch because you guys will all leave when you hear that thing go. Yeah, I feel you. When I was doing my full-time job and doing it, it was so much easier to buy, and that was what was fun. It took, you know, I would have to take a full Saturday and just list. And I can't imagine doing it now, like trying to do it as a side thing now when you were able to do it like a lot more. That's crazy, Rico. That is crazy. Let's get this label out here, going out to Long Island City in New York, and then we'll move on to some of the other prepackaged stuff. We're just doing this to hopefully boost our sales, as we've been talking about. Yeah, Polly Grimm, that's your new name, man. I completely misread that. All right. Where were we at? Okay, so doing our reorganizing and stuff like that. I do use the racks. If you haven't checked out the Cribs edition, which I'm sure most of you guys have, it's in the link below. It's actually over on Adam's channel. You can kind of see the beginnings of my inventory system, okay? It has changed, not necessarily changed, but it's obviously grown a lot. And so there have been some changes that had to have been made. But if you check that out, it kind of helps explain what I'm doing with like my shoes and stuff like that. Now I've got a lot more inbox shoes versus what I had then. I've kind of slowed down on some of the like cleats and stuff like that and focused more on, well, the Kohl's events have done that for me, but you know, bringing in a lot more inbox shoes. So I've had to switch up the storage a little bit, but I'm still using those racks. I've added racks. I literally have, I want to say 20 of them in there now, something like that we're using for that. And so it's just been trying to get everything set up the best way that I can. Chuck said, with you, Recon, need to stop buying more. Yeah, I know. Chuck keeps buying from me. I appreciate him helping me out. But with doing all that organizing and stuff this week, I started noticing a lot of inventory that I've had sitting. And I know everybody, you should go through this. Obviously, we've talked about this in past videos of how I need to work on getting myself disciplined to go through and actually comp old listings and get them updated and stuff to be competitive. I'm not the greatest at that. I would rather spend time listing new products than reviewing old products, and that's coming back to bite me now. So we've been talking about that. I'm not going to go all into that this video, but with that, I've been going through and doing all this storage and moving all this inventory that I have, seeing some stuff that I've had for a long time that I have a lot of, and it's made me realize I really need to turn some inventory. If you're not familiar with turn, basically, you know, sell it, get it to where you get your money back out of that, even if you have to not make as much profit. So one of my big things is I always hate to sell something for a low margin than what I intended to. So if I list, for instance, I don't have anything right here with me, goodness. So if I list this hat and I plan on making 10 bucks, I have a hard time selling it, dropping the price to sell it to where I only make 7 or 6. But if I've had this hat, not hats aren't a good example, I know, but say for instance these were shoes or something. If I've had that item for that long, I would be better off selling it, making a little bit of a profit, or even breaking even and getting that money that I invested in it back to buy something that sells better. We've talked about this, but what I've realized going through my garage is that I have so much that I need to do that with that I just don't pay attention to. A lot of people go through and, look at your listings, look at your old listings and see, but until you actually see it physically, for me, it doesn't sink in just how much money and just how much inventory you've got sitting that you've had for a long time. So that's where I'm at. I literally have some Nikes that I bought, one of my first retail arbitrage or online arbitrage buys, that I bought like 10 or 12 pair, 20 pair of this particular size, which is just stupid. Just, me not knowing what I'm doing, getting into this game. And I still have those sitting there. I paid probably 25 bucks for them, and I've got, 10 pair. That's $250, $300 worth of inventory that has not moved. And for me, I need to go through and drop those prices, but I have a hard time doing that. I hate selling for low margin. I feel like I'm failing when I do that. Oh, that was a bad buy. But at the end of the day, you can't be right 100% of the time. And I've come to realize that, and I'm trying to teach myself that. And I'm just going to have to actually suck it up and take a loss if I need to or whatever to get that out of here. Perfect example, what we're going to box up next. These are stomp pads. If you don't know what those are these Bissell cleaning pads. They actually work really great if you have pets or anything. Basically, they make a mess in the house or whatever. You clean it up for a little bit, and then you just open this up, lay it over it, and literally stomp on it. Kind of like you do paper towel. Most people do that with paper towel, but it has a cleaning stuff in it that actually pulls the stain out. They work really well. I use a bunch because I literally bought so many of these. Now, the reason I bought so many of these is they are supposed to be discontinued, and they're a really hot item. They went out of stock on eBay and Amazon. You couldn't find them anymore. They restocked, and so I know several of us I bought a ton of them. When I say a ton, I mean a ton. I think I bought 200 cases of them. Again, not smart, and I wouldn't recommend it, but I did it. They were selling because you were being able, basically we were paid, I think, $27 for the case for 20 of these, and they were selling for like $7, $7 or $8 a piece when they were selling, and they were selling really well. Had high sell-through rate, whatever, because they thought they were discontinuing them. Technically, they are discontinued, but eBay and Amazon have had them for almost a year now, still in stock. Evidently, they did what I did, and so literally cannot get rid of these things for anything. You can't hardly. I mean, you can get your $27 back if you sell it, but then after fees and shipping, you're in trouble. I have so many of these in there, and I literally have so much money tied up in them that I just need to get rid of them. So what we did is we actually dropped the price on these. I think I still sold these. Actually, I can check. I think I still sold them for like $32 a case or something like that. Let me see. I'll pull it up real quick just so I can make sure I got it. I still sold them for over what you could go buy them for Walmart. I don't know why they sold other than I did promote the listing. So I sold them for $35 a piece. But they did get a multi-quantity discount. So I probably only sold them for $30 a piece. Let's see, 140 divided by 4. I can't do my math right now. Anyways, so, we just sell them. But somebody actually bought 4 cases of them. So we are going to break even on these. I don't plan on breaking even on the rest of them. I'm going to have to take a loss. I just need them out. They're literally taking up so much space in my garage. And space is everything right now. So we are working on that, trying to get that done. Now, the reason I'm packing this in a different box is because I'm hoping that they're all going to fit. These boxes don't do too well, and they've already kind of been beat to pieces. Let me get caught up on comments, guys. This is awesome. Let's see. Bad buys are how you grow. I was putting my loose shoes in racks yesterday and saw my bad buys, and I started shaking my head. Bad buy equals knowledge growth. No, it's exactly what it is. And, you can't win. Like, I mean, obviously, if we're buying this stuff from clearance from stores, they overbought on that item, technically. Okay. So they're overstocked. That was technically a bad buy on their end. Doesn't mean they didn't make money from it. And, they know now not to buy that many of that particular shoe or whatever in the future. And it's in everything, but I'm speaking from experience here on myself. Don't beat yourself up over it because, like I said, unless you just, make sure to get your money back out of it or, try to move it, whatever you need to do. But don't, beat yourself up with it because I do that all the time and I know I shouldn't. Let's see. Grim said, what's the weirdest item you've ever flipped? Oh man, I've sold some weird stuff. I'll have to think on that one. Give me a second, Grim. I'll get back with you on that one. I have to think of it. I know I've sold some really interesting things. Recon said, yeah, thanks for sending me an offer this weekend on those pet pads. Yeah. You've been watching them for me? No. What do you think was the issue and made the issue and made these bad buys, how would you prevent in the future? Okay, so that's a really good question, actually, Andrew. Or whoever asked that. Is that you, Andrew? No, that wasn't you. Bad buy. There's a whole range of bad buys, and the thing is you can make a good buy. For instance, these were not a bad buy at the time. Now I should not have bought this many. I shouldn't have gone all in, so to speak, on these, because you never know. This literally is a discontinued product from Bissell. That's what we emailed them and asked them and everything when we were buying these, if these were actually discontinued. They are discontinued. For some reason though, they have so much stock out there that they're just not. Either they're not going to carry it and some other manufacturer's carrying it. I don't know what the deal is, but they are technically a discontinued product. This was a great buy. I should not have bought as many, is the thing. But when you see that kind of profit in your head, literally, when I first got these, I was selling them for $7 a piece. I was making almost $5 each off of these. And I paid, $1.50 for them or something. Like it was, and it was crazy. The sell through was great on it. Everything was good. So it was a good buy at the time, but unfortunately things happened. And like I said, they didn't continue to sell, or they didn't actually discontinue these, or if they did, they made a ton of them before they discontinued them. However it works. It didn't actually get discontinued. So, could I have prevented that? Probably by not buying as many. But at the end of the day, it had great sell-through. All the numbers looked good. There was no way of knowing that it wasn't actually going to sell out again on eBay and Amazon to where I could make my money. Now, honestly, guys, it could still happen. I could wake up one day and it'll they won't be available anymore, and my sales will probably go through the roof. I probably should check and make sure that they're actually still available today, because I did sell these ones, which I haven't sold any in over a year almost. But you can't avoid all bad buys. And like I said, some things are completely out of control. Now, other things are just you not doing a really good, thorough job on checking comps, making sure that sell-through is there, that sort of thing. And that's on you. You want to make sure you always take the time to do that. Make sure you're comping correctly, making sure that you've got the right item. So a lot of times I see people that say, they'll even post in bread and butter and stuff like that. They'll be like, hey, this is a great deal. Look at these comps, and they'll have a model number wrong, or it'll be a different color or something like that. You really have to know what you're looking for. I keep peeking out on my thing over here. You really have to know what you're looking for to make sure that is the correct, the correct comp and stuff. That's how you can kind of do that. You're gonna have bad buys though, and like Recon said, you learn from them. I know not to go all in Bissell Stomp Pads. I know not to buy 20 pairs of size 7 women's Allbirds or something like that, unless I'm getting a crazy good deal. But not at $20 a piece. So you learn from it. It's part of the learning process. The biggest thing that I've come to realize on my end is that I need to learn from those and move on instead of hoping that it's going to get better. Okay, so like the Allbirds I had listed for $40. They were selling for $40 a long time, and I had them listed for that, and I felt like I gotta get this amount out of them. I'm selling them for $35 right now. I'm still making $7-8 profit on them. I'm still making profit on them. But I should have been doing this a long time ago, gotten that inventory out so I could have space and money to go buy new inventory that's going to sell better now that I know what I'm doing a little bit better. And that would be what to learn from it. So like I said, I kind of talked about this in the last video. Don't be afraid to resell. Okay. Don't be afraid to list items because you're afraid you're going to get a return on it. Don't be afraid to, list an item because you're going to get whatever. Don't be afraid to resell. Don't be afraid to find deals and take a chance. Just make sure it's within your area that you're okay with. Obviously, money wise and everything. Make sure that it's something that is not going to hurt you in the long run. Don't take a risk because that's going to, I would say take a calculated risk. Don't just go out and buy a bunch of one thing hoping that it sells. And that would be, I think, the best thing that I could say as far as, how to deal with bad buys. If they're avoidable, yes, some are, but at the end of the day, you're still going to make bad buys. You learn from it and, count it as a learning mistake, make your profit or break even on it, whatever you got to do, and move on to the next item. Jack's Treasures, Mr. Jack says, when you have a ton of one item, if it's something that is discontinued, try to lower the quantity so buyers think they're scarce. That's actually a good idea. We used to do this when we sold collectibles. We would buy 20 or 30 of them from a manufacturer and only list 2 at a time. Because most people aren't going to buy more than 2 collectible item. They're not going to buy, you know, a lot of that. And it does give that FOMO, that fear of missing out on that item. So that's a great thing to talk about. Yeah, especially if you're the only one that has it. You know, you're the only one that has it available or whatever, or it is a discontinued or something that's hard to find. That is a super good idea as far as going and making sure that it's the quantity isn't super high. Great point, Jack. I appreciate that. All right, this item, I don't actually have a label. I thought I had a label for this one, but we packed it up early. Going out to Kathleen. So we're just going to write it on the box here and get that label after the video. All right, let's move on. So we've been doing really good, guys. Thank you guys for all the comments and interactions. We're going to move on to some stuff that I've got pre-packaged. That way we can see if this works. But don't hesitate. Ask more questions. We're going to keep talking about inventory, but I'm going to try to move through a couple of these orders while we do it. This is something we just picked up from the most recent Kohl's clearance event. We got it for 15 bucks and sold it for, I wrote it on the envelope, sold it for $40. This is an Adidas golf shirt. It's actually a size medium, which isn't just a crazy size, but selling for 40 bucks right now, which is super cool. Gonna package that one up and get it out. And like I said, we're testing out this new method to see if we can move through these packages a little bit faster. But yeah, as far as bad buys go, like I said, something I kind of touched on already, but walking through and actually seeing that inventory has helped me realize some of the stuff that I have. It's a question that I have for you guys. How often do you go through and actually look at your inventory and see, not only just check and make sure it's listed, check and make sure that it's the right quantities and stuff like that. I'm really bad about that, and I need to get moving on that because, yeah, let's just say I've been slacking. But I do need to go through and do an actual inventory. Do you guys do that? Do you guys do an inventory where you go through and make sure you know all your stuff in your totes? Take this tote and make sure all this stuff is still listed, quantities are correct and stuff. It's a really good idea, and I know it takes a ton of time. I've got over 2,000 listings, over I think 7,000, 8,000 quantities, something like that listed. It would not be an easy job. It's going to take probably a week to do, but it's something that is probably smart because you may have stuff that accidentally got delisted, accidentally sold, and you canceled and you didn't add it back in inventory, whatever. You could have inventory sitting there that's ready to sell, or that's not ready to sell that could be selling. So I definitely recommend it, but I'm curious what you guys do. Like I said, I'm going to try to get back onto doing it once a year. I kind of did it at the beginning of this last year, the end of this last year. Just kind of went through briefly and did it, but I didn't do a real thorough job. I need to because I know there's stuff in there that's not listed, and that's just money sitting there you could be getting elsewhere. We sold these Adidas golf shorts. I'm not going to pull them all out here, but we did buy these. We bought these from Marshall's a while back. I don't remember what we paid. I think we paid like $18 for them. Only sold them for $39, but this is some of that inventory that I was talking about. I just need to get it out. It's been sitting probably for over a year. Clothing and stuff like that is not bad to have, and it's going to take some time to sell. I don't want you guys to think I'm telling you if you've got it for 6 months, then you need to decrease the price and sell out, whatever. I would recommend comping it again to make sure it's comparable, but I'm trying to get a little bit of capital back in putting them more into shoes than necessarily clothing. I'm kind of focusing on hats and shoes because shoes are kind of my fast mover, hats are my slow mover, and I feel like that's going to be kind of my motto going forward. Not that I'm not going to buy clothing, but the one-off clothing stuff I'm probably not going to focus on. I used to do a lot of Marshalls and Ross sourcing and stuff like that. With online arbitrage, I'm not having to do that. And so, not that I won't do it, but I am kind of trying to focus and get my business a little bit more under control when it comes to that. Recon said, I honestly go through my store with little, I honestly go through my store with little watchers to check the stuff I have and the markets. Yeah, I need to get better at that. I know Adam talks about doing it all the time. Oh, sorry guys, my allergies. I need to get better at it because, like I said, I have so much inventory that probably could have sold already if I would have just paid more attention. Now, I haven't had a chance to do that. Like I said, I've been swamped, but I've been trying to move some older inventory. So what I did do on Monday, I think, what I did do on Monday is I actually went through after the live stream and put anything that was older than like a year on a 10% sale to hopefully maybe adjust some of those prices down to where they should sell. It hasn't picked up as much as I thought it would, but I have gotten a few sales. Some of my pop figures and stuff like that are obviously going to move because they're now down at least to market or a little bit below. But I didn't do that on a lot of my shoes and stuff that I just got in unless it was something that I've had for a while. That's not the best way to do it, obviously, but it is a way that I could quickly do it and hopefully move some. Yes, I might not make a couple of bucks on certain items that, I might have priced a little too cheap. But at this point, I just need some inventory out of the way. I'm literally busting at the seams right now. And as much as I hate to do that, I just need to clear up some space, not just for new inventory coming in, but just for this move that we've got coming up. It's coming up fast, guys. I think we've got like 4 or 5 months before it could possibly start. So just trying to prepare the best I can. And until I can get a little bit more time, probably next week or the following, then I'll be able to dig down and actually start comping and getting those prices back to market value. So I'm kind of cheating with that for now. It's helping a little bit, but it is something I need to work on. Sanook loafers, we bought from the last closed clearance event, paid $11 for these, I believe, or 11 or 12 bucks for these. Sold them for 33. Not a crazy, I mean, it's a good profit, obviously, but they sell quick, and I'm actually selling those on Amazon. So we'll see at the return rate, but it didn't look too bad, or I didn't think it would be too bad. Again, with some of these known brands, especially with slides, they're not specific sizes, 7.5, 7.75, whatever. They're going to be a little bit easier and not have as many returns. But they sell so fast over there, and that's why we listed them over there. Jack said, we don't do it near enough, usually yearly because of the amount of items we have. It's a great idea to do it a little more often. Yeah, I would love to. And honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm, especially once we make the move back, not that I'm going to necessarily hire somebody full-time or anything like that, but I probably am going to have, I've got a couple of sisters and stuff that would probably do it for me, or family or whatever, that I can hire just to do shipping on like Mondays. Obviously, not necessarily if we're doing the live streams, but certain days, they could go through and do shipping for me. And I'm hoping to recoup some of that time, get a better flow and workflow process. And that way I can start doing that. Even if it's only, taking a tote a week and going through that tote or whatever, tote every couple of days or whatever it is, and doing a small inventory, I think it would help a lot. Then again, it may be putting too much effort into it. I don't know. Maybe it is better to just take a year, or once a year and do it. That's probably, now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably the better deal. Just because you don't want to waste so much time looking for that one item when you could be spending that time sourcing. So, but yeah, it's something that really needs to be done. And it's not fun, so obviously you don't want to do it, but that's part of business, running a business. Not everything you can do is fun in a business, so definitely something to keep an eye out for. Next up on the sold list, we sold these Nike slides. We've actually been selling these quite a bit. Sorry, these are kind of a pain to get back in here, but the Yin Yang ones, these are pretty cool. Picked these up from the Kohl's online event. Paid $9 for them and sold these ones for $35. And this was actually on eBay, I believe. I don't think I have these listed on Amazon, so pretty decent sell through on those. And we're actually almost out. I think I have 4 pair left. Next up on the list here, we've got, these are these Chubbies. I actually expected these to sell a lot faster. They didn't. It took them quite a few days. Well, a few days. It was probably 6 months. These were from the Academy sale, that crazy Academy sale. We picked these up, I think, for $10 and sold them for $40. I had them at $45, which seemed to be the market, but I didn't want to hold them over till next year just because, again, moving and trying to clear up some space. So we did sell those for $40. All right, that clears up some of the small things out of the way. Let's move on to this next one. This next one, I'm not going to take it out, but this is actually an alternator that we bought from a bin store. It was brand new in the package, or at least it looked brand new in the package. I've sold 3 things from the bin stores in the past 2 weeks, and all 3 have been returned for not working. After, I forget who it was. I don't remember if it was in Bread Butter or in here. Somebody asked me about that, and I had really good luck before, but this particular bin store, I think, goes through their stuff pretty well, and I feel like I probably got the short end of the draw. So hopefully this one's good, though. This is an alternator for like a Silverado or something like that. I already packaged it up, and I'm not going to take it out. It is heavy. Bought it for $10, and we actually sold it for $100. So not a bad price there, as long as it works. And basically at that point, you just ship it, hope that it works. If it doesn't, you refund the buyer because there's not really a whole lot else you can do. All right, let's move on. Let's see where we're at, though, on these topics, because I do want to make sure we're covering some of these. Like I said, we're moving some inventory out. We're doing all that, trying to make sure we get profit back, but our money back. That way we can invest it in other things. We already talked about the shipping daily stuff, walking the inventory, all that good stuff. Low margins isn't a fail, and then not regretting buying inventory. So that kind of goes into the whole aspect of, not thinking that you failed just because you bought a particular item. and it doesn't sell for what you wanted it to, it kind of falls into that same category. But it is something that, you want to not, don't feel bad about buying it. I'll be honest with you guys. Every time I go sourcing, I'll get back and I have like this pit in my stomach, like buyer's remorse. Basically, like, oh, I should not have bought that much, especially once I start unloading it, stacking it all up. I went through and bought Converse the other day in that Kohl's sale, and I ended up with 6 pairs of size 13s. When you're buying from store to store, you don't really, obviously a size 13 is a decent size, but when you're buying from 5 different stores, you don't realize, you can't keep a mental track of how many of each size you've bought of that particular shoe. I bought that particular shoe. I bought 6 pairs of 13s and like 5 pairs of 12s and a half or 12s, something like that. Like I had so many, and I just, you're like, oh man, did I just waste a bunch of money? Am I gonna have to sit on these for a long time? What if they don't sell? All this stuff. I get that every single time I go sourcing, especially if I'm sourcing like a long time in one day. And I know it's stupid because a lot of the stuff that sells, that I bought or whatever sells great. But I need to trust myself in what I'm doing, and I still don't. Like I've been doing this for how many years now? I've been full time for going on 3 years now, and I still don't trust myself with what I buy, and it's crazy. And it's just something you kind of learn, it go as you go. There's certain things I buy now, like I bought, a ton of hats the other day, and I don't have a problem with that. I feel comfortable in that. But like those shoes, those Converse. And no, they haven't sold yet. We just got them listed this week. Actually, I think Thursday or Friday is when they went up. We haven't sold any yet. I'm not going to get worried about it, honestly, because I know there's a lot of competition out there. Shelby says, yep, me too. I know. It's one of those things, again, it's just believing in yourself and having faith in yourself, but it is hard, especially if you're buying. Like I said, this month has been absolutely insane. I've spent so much money on inventory going from not having to spend a bunch of money. I literally, the month before, I spent like half of what I normally do. I felt good about it. But that's just, it's how it goes. It is how it goes. And unfortunately, sometimes you just have to get over it and realize, trust yourself in what you're buying because it works out. And we've got one sale here. I'll talk about it when I get to it. That's kind of the opposite thing. But it shows that if you don't trust yourself, then you can actually hurt yourself in the long run too. Let's see. Grim said, everything we have a cook in the group, do you make sure to spend enough for free shipping? Example, the bulk sale, free shipping 100. I do normally if I'm going to buy, or I just don't buy. I know when you first start, and I'm not even saying when you first start, it can get to a point where everybody, I think, feels like they can't find enough inventory, and you want to buy every single lead or whatever that comes out. But you got to make sure it makes sense for you. If you can't buy enough or don't have enough of something that you found to sell to buy to get the free shipping, I don't do it unless the shipping's like $5 or something. Basically, if there's a shipping charge, I calculate that whatever that order total is, divide that by however many items I have, and see what my item price is, including the shipping, and see if it still makes sense. So don't be afraid of paying shipping just because you're paying shipping. Make sure it accounts into your buy cost to where you still make the profit. If you're buying 10 shoes at, say 10 hats at $10, and you're going to be able to sell them for $25, shipping's $10, you're paying $11 for that hat, not $10. And look at it that way and see if it still makes sense as far as shipping goes. But yeah, I'm the same way. I'm one of those people, I've talked about it in the past. I always want to get free shipping. And that's why I offer free shipping, because I feel like there's a lot of people like me that do that. Next going out, we've got this Mitchell & Ness jazz hat. This is actually a call out that was made in Bread and Butter from, I think it was a hat club sale or something like that. Picked these up. I think we did pay $12 or $13 for these, but it did sell for $40. It's taken a minute to sell, but it did sell for $40. It's a really neat hat, actually, but it is Mitchell & Ness, which seem to be slower moving for some reason. But it's what it is. But we did sell that. Since it is a white hat, I'm going to put it in one of these polys just to make sure it doesn't get too scuffed up in the box or anything. White hats are a pain. They can really get dirty real fast. Let's see. Jack responded, we usually nuke the store and then sell similar. This way we make sure we still have the item by putting our hand on the item, and have found some items that were overpriced, so we lower prices. That's a really good point. It's a really good point. I kind of like that idea. If you were to do it on more like a take the whole idea of delisting and relisting and put that into like doing an inventory. That's a pretty good idea. I never would have thought of that, honestly. I don't know how well that would work with me, just because of how my setup is. If I had all my stuff in totes, that'd be awesome. But yeah, that's a really good point. Shelby says, I have been buying some 1 million rank items knowing it is because it hasn't been in stock. I worry and it sells next day. Yep. That's a good point over on Amazon, especially, but even other places too, like eBay and stuff like that. I bought a particular pair. Well, let me grab them real quick. Let me ship these shoes so I can talk about them while we're thinking about it. And let me make sure I grab the right pair. These are a perfect example. I talked about these in one of my videos, I think. These are these Under Armours. What happened with these shoes? These are Under Armour basketball shoes from the last Kohl's event. What happened with these ones is I went into the first store, found several pair. The Under Armours are high priced, but these ones for some reason were less than like 25 bucks. These were $45, so they come out to, $28, I think. Let me see, I can tell you exactly what they came out to. They were the cheaper than Under Armours. And the first two stores I went to, I bought them because honestly, they comped good. There weren't a ton of comps on them. There weren't a lot of solds, but they seemed decent. So I bought them and then realized, let me make sure I grab the right listing here. These are the 10s. There we go. I realized that the third store I hit, there were literally like 25 pair of them. And I got scared. I didn't want to buy all of them. With everything else I was buying Nike and stuff like that. I always choose Nike over these other brands. But I realized that they had so many of them in that store. The fourth store I hit, the same thing. They had like 25 pair. I got scared. I didn't buy anymore. I thought, okay, that's not good. I didn't feel like the sell-through was there. When I got back home and actually listed them, I comped them again, make sure everything was good. And they were still selling. We sold these ones for $60. So 25 into 60. Not the greatest comps, but I mean that, it's decent, $15, $18 profit, whatever. And so then when I comped them again and seen that, I was like, okay, I'm good. I didn't buy a bunch. That's good. I don't want to invest, a whole bunch of money into these shoes and then not move, because it didn't look like there weren't very many solds. I've sold 5 pair this weekend and I'm already halfway out, literally within like 3 days of them posting. And it was my mistake. What I wasn't accounting for is there were hardly any listed either. And the ones that were listed were like all the same size. I should have bought every single one of them. I would have literally made my money, back on the deal within this weekend probably, and then, having that many different sizes, and I didn't do it. I'm kicking myself so bad right now because I didn't do that. It's moving faster than my Nikes are. So that was just a mistake on my end of not buying enough, but being afraid of it. And basically what I got afraid of is, if every store has this many, then I'm screwed. Like, they're just going to tank us over that. And it still could happen. I'm not going to say it wouldn't. But literally, guys, I've sold, I think I've got a couple that we've already boxed up, and I've got a couple more to go out. I know we've sold 4 or 5 this weekend alone. And I just wish I would have bought more of them, but I scared myself off by not doing enough research. Again, you're in the store, you're trying to rush through it because you want to hit as many stores as you can to get as much. At the end of the day, I mean, it didn't hurt me. Obviously, I didn't buy it, but this is one of those items that I got afraid to buy and turned out to be a really good selling item. So we live and learn, so to speak. But like I said, we did sell these ones. We've actually sold a few pair of them, and these are going to Calexico. Let me grab the label for this one and get this one packaged up while I have it here. But yeah, so you could be afraid of buying and it can hurt you, and then you can also overbuy and it can hurt you. But don't be afraid. Trust yourself, especially if you have some experience in this game for, however long you've been doing it. Trust yourself in it, and don't be afraid of making a buy just because you're doubting yourself or feel like you're spending too much money. Now, obviously, don't overextend, guys. Don't go out and, blow out a credit card or anything like that unless you know you can pay for it at the end of the month or, whatever. I know that's tempting. I'm not even going to lie and say that I've never had it happen. I've paid some interest on some credit cards because I thought an inventory deal was too good to be missed out on. But what you have to consider with that is you're paying interest on it, and that just adds to the cost of your inventory. So, if I put these all on a credit card and I paid interest, paid $100 worth of interest on 100 pairs of shoes, that's another $1 every month that's getting added to the buy cost on that item, and you have to consider that. So even if it's a great deal, don't overextend yourself because you actually end up hurting yourself in the long run. All right, so we're getting these ones shipped out. These are double checking my sizes because I do tend to get mixed up. Size 10, and I believe that is correct. Going out. Yes, size 10. And I've got boxes. I gotta quit using these. But yeah, so that's just an example, guys, of don't me being afraid to do what I'm, what I should know. I know Under Armour sell well. These are a black colorway. They're not, a crazy colorway that may not sell as well, although a lot of times they'll sell better too. It's a good shoe. It's a solid shoe to buy, just like some Nikes that we're going to show you here in a minute, that I should have known better, but I got scared. Let's see. Shelby, I think I read yours. Yeah, they're number one ranked items. Mr. Jack said, you make your money when you buy and you earn your money when you sell. So keep up the good work. Yep, exactly. All your money is made on the buy most of the time. I'd say 95% of the time. So make sure that you're getting what you need there. But then, like I said, don't be afraid to adjust as it goes down the road, because you need to get that money back and invest it into something else if it's not going to move faster. What ones are they? They're those lockdowns. The lockdowns. If you're talking about the Under Armour, it's the lockdown 6s. There were black and red colorways in this last sale, and yeah, I didn't buy any of the reds, and then I bought the red or the black ones, and then I should have bought more, but live and learn. All right, what do we got next? Let's grab some shoes that I've already got packaged up to get them out of the way. Ah, perfect. I was just talking about the Nikes. Yeah, no problem, Joseph. These ones here are the ones that I was talking about. These are another pair of Nikes. Now, again, these are not the craziest margin, but we paid $25 for them, and they are selling for $60, I think. Double check. Yeah, 20. Actually, paid $27 for these ones, and they are selling for $60. I'm making like $15 a pair on these. Not my margins that I want. Obviously, I talk about it all the time. If I spend $27, I want to make $27. But there were a ton of these out there. I know these all black Nike running shoes sell. I know the all white ones sell. They do very, very well. Even the black and white ones, these colorways, they're just a classic Nike running shoe, and people want them, and they'll buy them. We sold several pair of these this weekend. I don't have an exact count, but we did sell quite a few. And these are going, like I said, making me $15 after shipping and fees and all that stuff. Not a crazy not a crazy margin of profit on them, but I'm probably going to be out of them within a month, and I know I'm not going to have an issue selling them. So, would you leave $15 laying on the ground? No. And if you could, invest that's a better investment than you'll ever get on any kind of, stock or anything like that for the most part. And with way less risk doing it that way. So this is one of those things that I talk about buying in bulk, or doing like a bulk, not bulk buy. I use the same terms for everything. What I would consider buying stock, or buying a lot of them, even though they're not going to make you as much profit, you just know they're going to turn fast. And this is one of those items. Like I said, we sold a couple pair of those, and we'll get to some of the other ones here in just a second. We did sell a lot of shoes this weekend, guys, so bear with me as we go through some of these. We sold some Converse. These are I believe these are the leather. No, these are the red ones. This is from a few sale events ago, Kohl's sale events, but they still sell pretty regularly for me. These red Converse, again, not as popular of a color. Not everybody's willing to wear red. But we sold these ones for, I want to say, $70. Yeah, we got $70 for these, and we paid $23 for the pair. These were size 12, so kind of that bigger size, especially for Converse. But a great pickup. I love buying Converse. They're not as fast moving. Most of the time, they're not as fast moving as like Nikes, but they do sell well. And a lot of times, they're kind of like my New Balances. I can get almost retail out of them every time. And if I can't, I can hold them for a couple months and get them get that retail out of them. I don't mind holding Converse. I really don't. Next up on the sale list, this is actually a really cool sale. I do sell Funko Pops every now and then. I've got a whole bunch of them that I'm trying to sell, and I'm just trying to get rid of them. I don't want to move them. They take up so much space for what they are, and we're not making money on them, honestly, from what we paid. Converse are cash. That's what Recon said. Yeah, they are, especially some different styles, and we picked up quite a few here recently that are doing really well. These are the Grey's Anatomy full set. Ooh, these are dusty. Uh, one of each of these figures. I bought these. I've seen they came back in stock from a not a retailer. What do you call it? Wholesale. You can buy them wholesale or whatever. I had a wholesale account with them when I did Funko Pops back in the day, and they restocked on these particular ones. What's nice about this particular set is they're not making them very much anymore. There's only 4 of them, 4 characters out there, so it's not a huge set to begin with, and it's a very popular show. So we bought a full case of each character, so 6 of each character. Paid, I think, $11 or $12 for them. Is what we paid, almost full price. Well, we did pay full price after shipping, but we sold this set of 4. We have, I think, $50 in them, and we sold it for $140 or $150. Let me get this package back up here real quick. I messed up and took the packing out, and now I'm not going to get it back in. Had it done just a specific way. Of course. There we go. All right. So yeah, let me double check. I wrote somewhere on here what I paid. Yeah, so 52 and sold for 130. Sorry, not a crazy ton of profit, but about $10 a piece, which is doubling our money almost on those. And for pop figures, that's really, really good, honestly. They just do not have the sell-through that they used to. But we did sell that, and we sold it over on Mercari. So we got all of our money for those. We didn't have to pay any fees. How many of you guys are still cross-listing on Mercari? If you're not, there's a link in the description. I can make $50 if you sign up. No, I'm not going to do that. There is a link down there, but, or there should be. I don't know if it's there or not. But, yeah, they're doing a heavy promotion right now, trying to get people to list over there. I have slacked off. I haven't been actually posting new stuff over there, but I do have some stuff over there, and it is selling eventually. I'm getting about 3 to 4 sales a week over there, so it's, not bad, but it's not really paying for my subscription to my cross-lister, so I don't know how long we're going to keep doing that. Well, we'll see. If I'm going to give it one more shot of actually going through and cross-listing. Got about 500 listings over there. I'm going to try to get to 1,000 and see how many sales we can do off 1,000 listings. I haven't reached my max on there. I've sold one thing on there. They have a max? I did not realize that. On Mercari, I've sold more on Depop. I need to look into Depop. Everybody keeps talking about it. I need to look into it. But it's only clothing, right? I think Depop is. So I might be able to get my shoes over there. But most of my shoe listings are variation listings. And so you can't cross-list. Well, you can cross-list, but you can't have it automatically do it. Maybe me being new on there. It could be, honestly. Like I said, I've had, I think this is the most I've ever had over there. This is my 50 or whatever, or not 50, my 500 listings, I think, is the most I've ever had. But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize they might have a max. Good to know, though. I've got probably 1,000 listings worth of stuff I can get over there, if that makes sense. Because like I said, I do have a lot of items that are variation listings, so they have more than one. Not just quantity listings, but variations, different sizes and stuff. And I feel like that's going to kind of hurt me as far as cross-listing goes to any platform, unfortunately. And I can't do the manual... when I say manual cross-listing, I can't deal with the manual takedown. I've tried it with eBay and Amazon, and I can't even do it on there and keep my inventories correct, so there's no way I'm going to have multiple platforms unless it auto-delists like Bindu does. So basically, if I'm going to cross-list, I'm going to be using Bindu. I'm not going to do it any other way unless I just really need to work on some sales. Let me see. Yeah, it's only clothing. I've only had Mercari for a few months. Yeah, Depop, I'll have to check it out. I don't know. It may not be worth it, but we'll see. For me, at least. Let's move on to a couple things we got here. We're just mixing it up, kind of going through here, but it is speeding it up. We're only at an hour, and I'm honestly, maybe not. Maybe it's not speeding it up. I don't know. Next up, we have a bucket hat that we picked up. I think I got this from one of my sources, if I remember correctly. Yeah, probably with this tag I did. This is a bucket hat. Sold it for $39.99. It is a New Era Raiders. This camo pattern, this colorway always sells really well. And we actually have sold, I think, 2 or 3 of these, and we are now out. This is the last one. But sold it for $40. I believe retails $45, right? Yeah, so we're gonna leave this tag on it. That's crazy. I really did not expect bucket hats to be such a thing, but we are moving in this summer, so Sold it though to Jesse in California, an OG Raiders fan probably. Jesse, there we go. Let's get that one added up there. Jack said, hey, I have really enjoyed the show and subscribed. Have to go, but have a great rest of your day. Hey, man, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be here next Monday. If everything goes to plan, feel free to join us back again, but really do appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate your guys' support and subscribers. We actually have jumped in subscribers. I think we got like 6 or 8 this past week, which I've been sitting at 225 forever for like almost a month. So thank you to all the new subscribers if you're watching this. Not sure where everybody came from, but awesome to have you guys come in. Falcon, I gotta scroll up. Falcon, did you change? Is that you? I gotta remember because I feel like it's the same. Yeah, is that you, Josh? I think it is. Bucket hats seem to be money. They can be. They can also sit forever, and I have some of those, unfortunately. But yeah, Josh. Okay, I keep calling back and forth and forgetting who I've got. I'm terrible with names, guys. So if I do forget your all's name or something that I know, then don't take offense at it. It's just me being dumb. Let's go next item here. I'm not gonna pull these out. These are those same black Nikes that we sold somewhere. I took them out and showed them to you. All black Nikes. They're the same. I am polymailing these because I am only making $15, so I'm trying to make a little bit more, and this box is already pretty beat up, so we're just gonna package it up and go. But yeah, not bad there. Don't want to pay the extra $1 for a box for these, and I really honestly need to stop shipping everything in boxes. I can make a lot more, well, not a lot more money, but you know, it adds up. So I am probably going to start shipping a few more shoes and poly mailers, especially if the box is already beat up. Now, my idea with this, guys, and tell me if this is dishonest, my idea with it is that if I ship it in a poly, they think that the box got damaged in shipping versus me shipping them a damaged box. I feel bad to give a really damaged box in a nice box, then it just shows that the box was really bad to begin with. I don't know, maybe that's dishonest, I don't know. But I figure I'm going to ship it in a poly if it's already beat up. Let's see. I made it difficult. You're good. No, you're good, man. There's no problem. Like I said, you got the same icon. I just can't ever remember. Paramotor says, hey, I didn't have time to drop in until now. What did you cover as far as organizing your business? Just trying to figure out if I need to watch this after live stream is over. Of course you need to watch it after. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, we talked about just some of the organizing we're done. We haven't actually talked about some of the other areas I want to organize in my business. But we talked about my inventory, basically clearing space, getting some stuff put up, finding more space, basically trying to condense stuff and get it in the garage. We got all those shoes from the Kohl's. I think it was like 150 pair, something like that, from that last Kohl's event. So trying to find space for those, and basically it just required me to go through and condense stuff. But we found that we did turned my spare bathroom into a storage unit, and a few other things. But we haven't discussed some of the other business stuff of it yet. So it's up to you. You can check it out later if you want to or not. Does your garage have AC? It does not, but it does pretty well at keeping it cool. It still stays pretty cool. Where I'm at right now is not terrible. We get it's 100 degrees, I think today, 102, 104, something like that. It's not terrible, and I only put stuff out there that I'm not real worried about. For instance, shoes. I put mostly my shoes out there. That's about all I store out there. Anything else that's more temperature sensitive, I'll make sure it's in the house. But it is not AC'd. But like I said, for some reason in this house, even compared to some of my other ones, it doesn't get just unbearingly hot in there like it would like a storage unit or something. So it's not bad. And it's positioned well where the sun's off of it most of the time. These were actually an accidental buy. So this box is the same as those ones I was telling you about, like 10 or 12 size 13s. But someone had swapped them. I honestly did not realize this till I got home. Normally I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not going to buy a shoe that's in the wrong box. I bought 4 pair this time that were the same style or whatever. My camera's tracking me again. Same style, that the box was right, and I just didn't check. So I checked like the box to begin with, and then I just grabbed the rest of them and didn't check inside. And these ones, they're just the mid-top version instead of the low top. So somebody switched them at the store. But we did end up with them for 20 bucks, and they sold for like 65 instantly. I think I sold them within an hour of listing, so I probably priced them a little low. Super good item to look out for. But yeah, so I feel kind of bad about that, but like I said, it wasn't intentional, obviously, and it is what it is. But I ended up with, I think, 4 pair this time of different ones. This one was one of them. One of them, somebody had swapped the boots inside, literally took the Laredo tags and reattached them. Like, you would not have known, except for the fact that they felt really cheap. And I know Laredo boots aren't just, the cheapest. And I happened to pull the insert out, and you could see it said Madden Girl on the bottom of the boot versus the other. The other thing that I noticed too is that the pictures that I was pulling up online did not match the boot. They were a black boot, but they weren't, like, the stitching was white on the pictures and it was black on the actual boot. Anyway, long story short, I took it in, and even the employees were like, I've never seen anybody take the time to like swap the tags, reattach everything and everything to make a swap, but they did. These are going out to Jason in Oshkosh. But yeah, I ended up with that. I ended up with a pair of black Nikes that had 2 different. They were the Runs, no. What ones were they? Not the Run Falcons. That's Adidas. I forget which brand they were or which one they were, but they're like the ones that are 6. There's like a Model 6, Model 7, Model 8, whatever. And they had 2 different shoes in there. And then I can't remember what the other one was. Anyways, ended up with a lot of wrong shoes this time in Kohl's. Luckily, all the same sizes, but not necessarily the greatest when it comes to reselling. It worked out in my favor on that. But speaking of that, I do want to get to the rest of this organizing, but I keep thinking of stories that I forgot, and I have to think of them now, or otherwise I'll forget. We actually did buy some Converse from a call out over in Bread and Butter from a particular retailer, and they shipped from their stores. So I got like 8 to 10 pairs of shoes from different stores. And the one particular order that I got was supposed to be 1 pair of Converse, and they actually sent me a pair of Doc Martens and an Adidas campus shoe that was like $130, selling for 130 bucks. So I kind of lucked out there with accidentally getting somebody else's order, I think. So it worked out. I'll take that over the $20 shoes for sure. Let's see here. These ones here are just, again, those Under Armours that we bought a bunch of. Like I said, a bunch of them sold. This particular pair is the size 10.5. And we already have it labeled up 25 into 60 on these. All right. So obviously we talked about organizing inventory, but that's not the only thing that you should have organized in your business, obviously. And everybody's got a different idea of how to organize and how to do things and how to run and all that. And that's great. Obviously, you should have you should have your own idea on what works best for you. That's one of the things that I feel like a lot of people try to mimic, especially inventory systems and stuff. And for me, that just didn't work with my particular scenario because of, I'm running this literally out of my house and using almost the entire house for it. I can't use totes everywhere and stuff like that. So you have to adapt and find what works best for you, but you should always have a system. That's one of the things in my cribs tour that I talk about, is probably one of the smartest things to do right off the rip. As soon as you start reselling, is already set up a SKU system or an inventory system. That way you know where every single item is, because so fast it gets out of control and you don't have, you're hunting for items and spending time. So inventory control is one thing, obviously, to stay organized in. You want to make sure that you're not constantly hunting for an item. It wastes time, and you should be using that time for other things. But that's not the only place that you should be, or you can organize your business. And we're going to talk about a few of those right after we ship this order. This one here is going to Stuart in Eureka, Nevada. These are the Skechers boots. We picked these up from a Kohl's clearance event, and then I called it out in Bread and Butter for these particular ones. These are giant. These are size 13s, kind of like a work shoe. We've sold the black ones before. These brown ones are selling so fast. I'm almost out, and we've had them for less than a month, I think. The listing, I think, took off too, because like I said, we've been selling them like crazy. But we actually only spent, I think, I don't have the price in it. I want to say these were $25, I think is what we paid for these. And they are selling right now for $69.99, so 70 bucks. Which is a great deal for some Skechers. Well, actually, for a great deal for us, obviously. That's full retail price for these particular ones. And like I said, the browns are selling. I have gray ones, and I haven't sold a single pair of those yet. But the brown ones are selling really well. I didn't expect those to be the popular one. but we'll take it. These are going out, like I said, to Stuart in Nevada. Let's grab his label real quick and move on. All right, so organizing your business. Some of the other things that obviously help a lot, and you can see by my backdrop that I haven't done a great job of, but that is organizing your shipping stations and your packing stations. You obviously, it's a little bit different with a stream when I'm doing a stream, but you don't want to spend a ton of time packing and shipping. That's one of the reasons I have a lot of or I buy boxes. It's not that I couldn't have stacks of boxes. I don't like it. Number one, I don't have space. I might be able to show you, or we'll show you here in a minute if I remember. I have a whole bunch of like pre-made boxes like these ones that are already put together, whatever, up there that I've gotten from other orders. And that's a great way. Honestly, it saves you money. You're not paying for stuff. But I feel like I spend so much time looking for a box to fit something that it kind of defeats the purpose, so to speak. Not that obviously 60 cents is 60 cents, but if I have to spend 5 minutes trying to find the right box, I feel like that's not worth 60 cents of my time. I'd rather spend that time elsewhere. So for me, I like to have an organized shipping station where I know where everything is. It doesn't have to be nice and pretty. Obviously, mine's not necessarily nice and pretty, and I could do a better job of it. I'm actually working on that today and tomorrow, trying to get this portion of the room cleaned up. We've done that through the whole house, trying to get it nice and straightened and organized, and this is my last stop here in the office. So hopefully next stream it'll look a little bit better. But that's one way you should probably have an organized system in place for your shipping and your space in your organized area where you can make good use of your time. Because believe it or not, time is money. And in this business, you guys know, if you're doing this, you spend so much time trying to keep everything going, and it's what makes your money. The more time you have, you always have more stuff to do than the time of the day. At least for me, that's how it seems to be. So being able to utilize that, having boxes, for me, that means buying certain size boxes, not everything, but like my shoe boxes, my hat boxes, anything like that. I have them. They're all flat. They store well. I can store a bunch of them in the room, and I know exactly where they are. I can just grab them and go, and I'm not hunting for it. That saves me time in the shipping process. Next up, I've had these forever. They finally sold. We paid $15 for them, and this is another example of me not doing my job. This is a great rag on my own self here. These Run Falcons finally sold. These are kind of an orange color women's size 10, which is it's a larger women's size. These ones here finally sold for $53.99, which is actually really good. We only paid, I think, $18 for these. And they did sell for $53. I just had them listed too high. I put this on a 10% off sale. So these were probably listed at like $59 before or something. And I just had them priced too high. And unfortunately, I've been sitting on that money for a while now. I think these I bought almost 2 years ago. So glad to see them move. But at the same time, every time I sell something like this, it just reminds me that I've had that money tied up, and it's kind of hurtful to my self-pride, I guess you could say. Going out to Kristen. Let's see if we can find Kristen's label real quick here. Or maybe, there she is. Oop, I don't think I put a... shoot. Let's see here. Oh, I did. Okay, it double printed. I thought I didn't label one or put the wrong label on one here. Getting sidetracked. So shipping station, like I said, is one that I have. Do you guys have anything that you particularly do that helps you speed up time in your business? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to move on to my next point here, but let me know in the comments if you do, if there's anything that you feel you've done that's helped you kind of recoup some time. Because I'll be honest, guys, this week has really, really put into my head how much time means. Like, I spent so much time just organizing and stuff like that. That is not going to help me get sales, okay? It's going to help me fit more stuff, but it's not going to help me get sales. I should have been taking that time to adjust some of my prices, to source inventory, to do whatever. But I had to just spend that much time getting everything back into shape, back organized, and ready to go. It has to be done. It's not like it can't, you can just skip over it and not do it. So it's not a waste, but at the same time, it's one of those things where I feel like, I would much rather be listing or doing something like that where I feel like I'm actually contributing to making more money. But it needs to be done, and it saves us time. And I feel like that's where I'm always looking. I'm always looking for more time. I need more time to do this. I need more time to do that. So shortening anything I can has been a super big help. Next up, we just have another pair of these Under Armour shoes, guys. Again, like I said, we sold a crazy amount of them, but we are going to get these shipped out now. Again, 25 into 60 on these ones. Another thing that I try to keep kind of organized and ready to go is my listing station and my photo station, which is actually out in my living room. I have a computer out there that I utilize for that. I have a little bit more space than in here, and I tend to just pack this place with boxes. So that is my shipping station. I have the photo station always set up and clean. That way, if I need to grab 1 or 2 items and I can photo them real quick, or if I'm ready to do a bulk lot of stuff to do, I do my hats, probably 100 hats at a time is what I do when I list them. So having that station is clean and organized and ready to go at all times just saves me that little bit of extra time and gets me in the groove. I tend to, if I'm going to list, I have to get into the mood and just start doing it. Any sidetracked or, any items that keep me sidetracked or anything like that just make me lose focus, and I don't end up getting as much done in the day that I should. So that's why I try to take, I'll take tomorrow and all I will do is list tomorrow. And the next day, all I'll do is this. I have to do it in big chunks. And so having that cleaned up station and stuff like that, that's ready to go and organized, and I know exactly where everything is. I'm not hunting for it and stuff. Just keeps me in that mode. And I find that to be super helpful as far as, the business goes. Let me double check, make sure I got the right size on these. And I left the tag on it. Whew. Left the Kohl's tag on it. Got to get those off. This is what happens when I start rambling. But like I said, that is another way that I like to try to stay organized and to keep some of my time. Also, inventory picking fast. We kind of covered that. Obviously, keeping that inventory to where we know where it is super helpful. It saves us time in picking, and we don't have to spend hours looking for an item that we can't find. Trust me, I still do that. There's still times that I mislabel stuff, or I'll move it and forget to change it or something like that. It happens more than I really want it to, but it is part of the game. But you just have to try to keep it as best you can, because you can waste a ton of time hunting for an item and then realize that you accidentally sold it on another platform. Did that with eBay, with Amazon this week. Anyway, inventory. What else? The other thing that not a lot of people talk about, and it's just something that I feel like I've kind of figured out over my time, is keeping your incoming inventory organized as well. Okay, people talk about having a death pile. Okay, that's the most common term everybody refers to as inventory that you haven't listed yet. Kind of refers to as a death pile. I refer to it as incoming inventory. It's a death pile if it's been sitting for 6 months and I haven't listed it because I don't want to list it. That's what I consider a death pile. But the thing with it, like with new inventory coming in, is I try to keep that just as organized as my inventory that I have elsewhere, because when I go to list, again, I want to be able to just knock it out. So if I'm going to do shoes, I want to make sure I list all my shoes at one time. If I'm going to do hats, same thing. So I try to keep that as organized. The other reason for that is because I want to prioritize what I'm listing versus just listing a bunch of random stuff. So if we're coming into football season, I need to make sure all my football hats are listed before then. I don't need to focus on basketball. Basketball season's over. Not that we don't want to list it, but it's over to the extent that, unless it's, Celtics or Mavericks or whoever, I'm not going to get those listings up right now. I'm going to focus on football season. That's the next big one. Baseball sells year round, so you can kind of do that whenever. But if that's the next thing, if you've got winter items, make sure you're listing your winter items now, because that's what's coming in this season. People have already started buying their summer, not saying that they won't, and I probably still would list summer stuff now, but you want to get whatever your next season is that's going to be coming up that people are going to be thinking about, list that first. And if you keep your incoming inventory done that way, then you won't have an issue with trying to list swim trunks in December and your jackets in August or whatever. Like, actually, August would be a good time to list them, but you know what I'm saying. You want to, if you have that inventory kept up and organized, then you can kind of see what you should be listing and list accordingly to what's going to sell next, versus just listing everything. And so I do that. Like I said, with me, a lot of times it's attached with sports stuff. I'm going to get my college stuff and my football stuff all up and going right now. That way it's ready to go and sell, and I can hopefully make a better profit and turn a better profit on it. Next up, we have these Converse. These are kind of a weird, I don't know what you call this. It's a soft fabric, kind of top on it is a low top slip-on shoe. We picked these up from the Kohl's clearance event, paid, I don't have the tag on it anymore, I just peeled it off. I think we paid $15 for these and sold them for $60. I didn't think these were going to do very well. I honestly feel like this is another one that I left a bunch because there were a bunch in certain stores. I hope I didn't. I don't think I did, but there's a good chance I did. Because I didn't think they may not sell that well, just a kind of an odd color or whatever. Unfortunately, I made that mistake and we're down to the last pair. So just another one of those ways that you can accidentally hurt yourself by not buying. Just as much as you can hurt yourself by buying a good one. And yes, sorry, I did leave the tag on. 15, so $17 for these. Sold them for $60. And these are actually a size 6 women, so kind of a smaller size. Good to see these go. Let's see here. So keeping organized in all those other areas. What other areas do you guys feel like is very important to keep organized? Just coming to mind. Didn't even have it on my list, but obviously for tax reasons, keeping your receipts organized. I try to. I'm not very good at it, but I do try to go through every month and list out all my receipts. I don't know what I'm going to ship this in. I might ship this in a poly, honestly. Go through and keep all my receipts, scan them in. I do use QuickBooks to help me out with that. I know it's expensive. I think I pay $60 a month, but it helped me with tax time so much. It was well worth the money, well worth it. But you know, at least keeping it organized. I go through every month and record all that stuff in my QuickBooks. I'll go through it and track my mileage, write down my mileage, and get all that stuff straightened up every month to keep that organized. Number one, if you have QuickBooks or something like that, you can see your profits in real time, see how you're doing for the year, which is extremely important. And if for other things, just keeping it that way, it doesn't become an overbearing job. Whenever I did this last year this way, I actually only spent like 2 days on taxes versus an entire week and a half the year before. And if you've done taxes before, you know how stressful that can be. So minimizing that is huge. That's another way. I keep all my receipts in like a folder for every month and then try to organize them as best I can in that too. So lots of different ways to, you know, to keep a business running. And it's something that if you see a business, for instance, you know, any Walmart or whatever business it is, you see how they do that. It's not that you have to be that professional, I guess you could say. It doesn't have to be that, you know, up to par, but it is whatever way you can organize it and keep it is going to help you out in the long run. Especially once you get to that point where you are hiring employees or whatever, you have a process in mind and a process set up that everybody can start with, and it just makes it overall better. So that's something we've been focusing on this week, and I think that's about the extent of what I can think of on that topic. But if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, let me know. I appreciate it. Even if it's after the video. I know a lot of you watch these after the fact. Don't hesitate. I respond almost every day. I go through and check for comments. So if you have one, let me know. I'd be happy to. I want to hear you guys' opinion. Don't have to agree with me either. You can tell me I'm blatantly wrong. I don't mind. I love hearing what you guys have going on because, like I said, you can learn from everybody. Obviously, you've got a lot of YouTube influencers, all that stuff. They've got some great ideas. But at the end of the day, you know, you can learn from anybody, and that's one of the things in reselling. If you ever quit learning and reselling, then you're not going to make it. You have to learn and adapt every day. And when you do that, it makes your job easier. Honestly, that's what I found at least. All right, moving on to the next one. We've got some hats, guys. Don't think I haven't sold any hats. You know I sold some hats. So let's go ahead and run through some of these because we are at an hour and 25 minutes, and I've still got a lot of orders to go through. First one, we got these Denver Broncos classic throwback logo, $59.50, $13 into, I wrote it somewhere, 50. Sold this one for 50. I have so many of these. I need to drop the price probably a little bit, make them a little more competitive because these weren't just super hard to find. And I think I might have some competition, but I have probably 25 of these hats still. So hopefully those will keep moving. Next up, let me grab another bag. Sorry, trying to stay organized while I do this stream also, so that I don't have a whole bunch. Normally, once I get done with the stream, I have like 10-15 minutes of just getting all the packages bagged up and put in the totes and getting them taken out so the post office can carry or can pick them up. But Trying to avoid that today. So we got that one going out. Got a couple more here. This hat here is an Under Armour. We sold these over on Amazon. We picked these up in the Academy sale just the past couple weeks ago. Paid 11 for these and are selling them for 35 or 35, 33. Yeah, 33 bucks for these ones. These have been flying. I'm almost out of my fitted ones, and even the snapbacks are moving really well. So glad to see those go real quick. That's what I was hoping for. That's one of those things I trusted my gut on. I knew they'd sold well in the past for me, and I was just hoping they would continue, and they did. Next up, we've got this. Oh, excuse me. This is Blue Jays. Yeah, Blue Jays all black snapback. Again, sold this one on Amazon as well. Paid 17 for these. I overpaid a ton for these not on accident. I just got hyped and bought them. Did sell it though for 40 bucks. We do have a few of those left, but hopefully we can get rid of them pretty quick, especially once baseball season gets into full effect. Again, not a crazy flip on that one, and probably not one I would do again, but I got excited, guys. What can I say? I like hats. Next up, we've got the RVCA. I honestly have not paid a ton of attention to this brand. I've seen it multiple places. This one here actually retailed for like 28 bucks. We sold it over on Amazon. I was the only one that had it, or it had been out of stock, and I was the only one that had it. This goes back to what Shelby was just talking about. It had a decent rank. Picked it up for 6 bucks, and we sold it for 40 over there. So a $28 hat sold for 40 just because it was out of stock. It's crazy, but it was one of those things. Like I said, there weren't any real details on it. It had been out of stock for at least a few months, if not more. But sold it pretty fast too. That RVCA brand tends to be good on Amazon. I don't know how well it does on eBay. I haven't really paid attention. I just know it comped really well on Amazon. That's why I bought some of them. So something you might check out. Like I said, I haven't checked any of their other stuff other than their hats, but their hats tend to do well, especially if you have an Amazon listing for them. Here's one of those snapback Under Armour hats that we picked up from the Academy sale. 11 into 33 on this one. Moving right along here. Next up, we've got, I don't remember which one these are. We got this hat. I actually bought this for 5 bucks. It was just a random hat that I found. It's a Fanatics hat, and the sticker is all off center, but we did take photos of this one and make sure that we noted it. It's still brand new, and it is a 3/8, so it's a good size. I don't remember who this is. It's a hockey team. I should know, but I can't remember. Is it the New Jersey, I think, or something like that? I don't know. But we picked it up. I think I paid like 5 bucks for it, and we sold it for 45. Fanatics hats, guys. NHL is licensed only through Fanatics, I believe, or their hats are at least, or they are now. So don't hesitate to pick up Fanatics hats. Hockey hats sell just as well as other hats. You do have to check comps, and there may not be as many comps, but they've done really well for me. Another Under Armour fitted hat, again 11 into 33, or is this the 28 one? I don't remember on this one. Let me check here. Just another. When I say fitted, it's the large, extra larges, whatever they are. 11 into 32 on that one. Next up, we have this Adidas hat. I actually sold this. It got returned on Amazon, and we sold it again. So this profit isn't quite right. I probably am breaking even on this one as long as it stays sold. Persons, they didn't like the color when they got it in the last one. That's the cost of doing business. But we paid $11 for that, and we sold it for 35. Like I said, probably got 20 bucks into it now, so still only making about 5 bucks on that particular one, 5-6 bucks. Next up, another Under Armour hat. Like I said, these are moving like crazy, guys. Definitely glad I trusted my gut on those and bought quite a few of them because they are doing well. 11 into 29 for that particular size and color. Let's see here. This is a 47 brand. Is it Boston? Yeah, this is Red Sox, right? You guys are laughing at my sports knowledge. Pink logo. I've had this for a minute, but it did sell. I think I paid $3 or $4 for it and sold it for $30. I don't even remember where I got that one. Honestly, it's been a minute, but that's the hat game. You're not going to sell them instantly, but they do sell, and you make great margins. That's why I'm kind of focusing on them as being my slower moving items to buy, just because they sell. They may move slow, but the margins are way up there. Philadelphia Eagles NFL patch, all black hat with the cool logo. It's like a glittery, shimmery logo. Really neat hat, actually, if you're an Eagles fan. I am not, but the cool colorway. Sold that one for $50. think we got 13 in those. Is the average that we have on those particular ones. Like I said, I bought so many of those, and I've got about 1,000 more that just came in over the past couple weeks that I got to get listed. Next up, we have a Travis Matthews hat. If you guys find this is a good brand also, they do well on Amazon if the listing is up there. This particular one, we paid $6 for and sold it for $45. So a great sell through and a great deal on that particular one there. Next up, let's go and do this real quick. We've got another hat, and I think this is the last hat. Well, it's not, but the last one here. Next up, we have this. Oh, that's just another one. You guys have seen this one already. Snapback Under Armour hat going out as well. Again, 10 into 33 on this one. That's most of the hats going out. Not as crazy as I've had in the past, honestly. We did more shoe sales, I think, this week than hat sales. So, not complaining, though. Speaking of shoes, I already boxed this one up, and I don't remember what's in it. So, I apologize. But whatever it was, we sold it for, we paid $27, sold it for $60. So, it's those other Nikes. $27, sold it for $60. Again, nothing crazy on that one, but we'll take the profit from it. I forgot. I think that was the one I accidentally got too much into the zone while I was listing and sold it, or too much in the zone when I was packing and getting everything ready and just sealed it up instead of waiting. All right, next up we've got, sorry guys, I know I'm flying through some orders, but I'm trying to get caught up here. We've got some New Balances that we picked up from the Kohl's clearance event here. These are those white and blue ones. I picked these up just in this last one, and if I remember correctly, did I write it on the box? I hope I did. Yeah, we paid $23 for them, and they sold for $65. I think I'm out of those. I think that might be the last one I have, honestly. Now, these ones I probably would have polyed, but I need these boxes out of my way, so I figured might as well use them instead of throwing them away. No sense in throwing them. I can just reuse. But I am using a bunch of boxes just to get them out of here. Next up, these ones we sold, paid $23 for these. Oh, okay, these are those same boots that I just showed you, the brown Skechers. I'm not going to take these ones out, but the brown Sketcher boots that we sold, just another pair of those that sold this weekend, $23 and $270. All right. This next sale is one that I'm really happy to see go. Unfortunately, we made money on it still, and I'm not complaining, but this is one I was hoping was going to be a lot better for us. This particular one here, and I'm going to pull this one out because it's kind of unique. We picked these up from an online auction. Now, I don't do these really. I never have. This was actually the first one I've done, and I haven't done any since. But a local motorsports company was getting rid of a bunch of motorsports gear, including like parts and accessories and riding gear and clothing and stuff like that. And that's what we have here. So these are a pair of Alpine Star motorcycle boots. Well, that didn't work. Alpine motorcycle boots, as you can see here, they are a big size. They're a EU 48. I don't know what that comes out to, but these are like these are super beefy. They got all the pads and stuff in it for motocross. Not necessarily when I say motocross, I'm like cross trackers and stuff like that. I believe like motorcycle racing. These are retail price. I think I still have the tag on. Yeah, retail was $220 on these. We paid $80 for this particular pair. Basically, I bought, I think, 15 or 20 pair of these, different sizes, different colors, all that stuff, different styles. But in that auction, I was basically trying to beat out this other guy that had started bidding on them. So a couple pair like this one, and there was like 2 or 3 that I ended up spending like $80-$90 for, just to try to beat him out and kind of make sure he doesn't bid on any of the other ones, is what I did. And we got, like I said, I think I paid $80 for like 2 or 3 pair, and the rest were only like $40. We're down to only 4 pair of these left. We've sold on and off. I bought this over 2 years ago. I believe it's over 2 years ago for this online auction. So I've had them for a long time. They sold for $170. So $83 into $170. Plus obviously shipping cost me a little bit more for this giant box. Not the best deal. But I mean, still, I mean, it's not bad. Obviously, we still made probably $60-$80 off of it. But again, that's a long time to hold to make $60 on an $80 item. But like I said, I cheat myself when I say that, because really I got the rest cheaper because I bought that. So I should have averaged the price out across all the pairs instead of doing, comp for comp. But it is what it is. So I'm not mad, and I'm really honestly very happy to see them go, because they take up a bunch of space in the garage. And as you guys know from the theme of this show, space is everything. So that was a really cool sale. All right, next up, we've just got a couple more things here to get out, and then we are going to be done. I thought this was going to speed it up, guys. I'm probably going to finish right at the 2-hour mark. And I wish I should have gotten, well, I'll get some numbers for you guys here in a minute. I want to get the actual numbers. That way you can see what we did this weekend. Maybe we just had a busy weekend. It's hard to tell when I don't have everything stacked up and all the numbers ready. This is a bin store find. I really don't even know what these are. Let's see. This is called the NCT Dream Hot Sauce Photo Book. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see. I believe this is a Korean, like a K-pop group, maybe. That might be what the hot sauce is referring to. Yeah, it's some sort of K-pop group. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. But we paid $9 for it at the bin store. It took forever to sell, but it did sell for $44.99. And these are brand new. I didn't actually take these out, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know really what those are, but they sold. So we're going to get them out of here. Finally, like I said, I've had them for a minute. And books do sell. They just take time. And I would much rather sell hats that take time versus books. Let's see, is this going to work? Oh, it is. Okay, cool. Fit right into this priority mailbox. Ow. Ooh, I cut my paper cut underneath the fingernail. That's going to hurt. All right. No questions. Man, everybody went from talking to nothing. got all the things you wanted to say out first, huh? No, I appreciate it, guys. I do appreciate all your guys' support, especially in that first part. That was awesome, having all those questions and comments to refer to. It slowed down a bit, but that's understandable. Not everybody has 2 hours of their day to hang out, and those of you that do, thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me. I appreciate it. This one's going out to Audrey, and I don't know if I have a label for it, actually. This might have been one that come in last night. Yeah, okay. So we packaged it up, but we're just gonna have to write the name and we'll get the label after the stream here. Doing math. Ooh, yeah, Rico, I don't know how you do that whole thing. Good for you. I don't mind math, but I don't do it for fun, that's for sure. Audrey. Okay. All right, so we've got a few more items here. We're gonna pack up and then we're gonna get out of here. I feel like I talked about everything. What else happened this week? Besides eBay being eBay. I don't really remember. Next up, we did sell a hat. I told you I was done with hats, but we're not. We sold this Adidas one here, $29.99 over on Amazon, actually. This is a trucker hat, which you don't see very many of. But going out to Jose in Austin, Texas. And like I said, that one I sold for $29.99. I think we paid $6 for those, if I remember correctly. So $6 into 30 is not bad. And I've honestly I picked up, I think, 10 of those hats and sold most of them already. I think I have 3 or 4 left. So not bad. Not bad at all. I feel like there's a lot of things that I sell through the week that you guys never see. And I know that sounds dumb, but like there's some stuff that just never seems to sell on the weekend. So I've sold a bunch of them, and I think I've shown you guys, and you guys are probably like, hey, I've never seen that. But there's been a few items that I've been like, I was positive I've shown it in a stream and gone back and haven't. It's just weird that it sells throughout the week. I forget that you guys don't see everything that I sell, just whatever the weekend holds. Last but not least, is this the... No, that is not. There it is. Okay. So we do have the last hat here going out, and I do have to open it because I sold it for more than I think. Yeah. So this is, again, just another Under Armour from the Academy sale. Hats get really repetitive. But retail price on it is $28. So we sold it for $31. So we're going to have to peel this. I wish Under Armour was like Nike. Nike has the real nice peel off or the like tear off price tags. These ones are actually stickers and they're stuck to the tag. So you got to peel them off manually. Not easy. It takes time. But obviously, customers don't like paying more than a couple bucks for what they see on the tag, even though they don't realize that, we're paying for shipping and we're paying for all this stuff. So they don't get it. They just see the price and think, oh, I got gypped because, this person sold it to me for more than what is on the tag. So that's why we remove it, guys. We just, can't have that happening. Oh, man. All right. I don't think anything else happened, guys. I was trying to think of some last thing we could talk about, but I feel like I covered everything. Did I forget anything? I probably did. It's hot, I'll tell you that. I turned the fan off in here to hopefully help with noise, but it's getting a little too warm for that. We might have to actually keep it on from now on. Let's confirm shipment on this one. This one's going out to Israel in Bakersfield. And then I do have one more label, but it's a sports bra, Nike sports bra. If you can find them cheap enough on clearance, and I did find a couple of them this last sale, but there were some that weren't cheap enough yet. Hopefully this coming sale will be better. But we did pick that one up for $11, and it sold for $30 on Amazon. All right. What else do we have here? Got a couple more items going out. This is just a Funko Pop. Who is this? Peter Pan. Yeah. Captain Hook and TikTok. This is actually a really cool one. I almost don't want to sell it, but I don't collect any Disney ones, so I figured it's time to get rid of it. And it sold for, I want to say 60 or 50. Sold for $50. That one actually I bought from a local marketplace deal. Let's see if I can get this box out of here. Bought it from a local marketplace deal. Someone had them, and it's actually a Hot Topic exclusive, but it doesn't have the sticker. Oh, it's too big. And I wasn't sure if it would hurt it in resale or not, and it doesn't seem to be. It's actually it sold for, like I said, $50, something like that, which isn't bad at all. I don't have a box for this guy, so I'm gonna pack it up after I get off the stream here. That's what I'm talking about. Finding a box, like that drives me nuts. That's why I hate not having just boxes that I can use for everything. Next up, we sold these classic boxers from American Eagle. These are the flag boxers. This is a bread and butter call out a long time ago, and I bought so many of them, but I'm actually glad I did. This one, I'm actually glad I bought so many of them. They sell really well around this time. Honestly, I haven't picked up as much as they did last year, so I probably should have delisted and relisted the listing to get it a little bit more traction this year for 4th of July and stuff. Literally, that's why they sell. But they sell a lot, and honestly, they sell overseas more than I think they do here in the States. This one is in the States, but most of the time they're going overseas. Size large, though. We paid, I think, $2 for those and sold it for $13.50 on eBay. Going out to Clark. I've got to write it because I don't have the label. All right. Next up, and probably the last thing we're going to ship out today, is going to be this Batman Funko Pop. This is the metal diecast. That's the word I'm looking for. Diecast figure comes in this really nice collector's box. Got like a clear case and everything. These are really, really cool. Again, I want to keep a bunch of these, but I just don't need them. And there's no point in keeping them and not if I'm not going to display them and stuff like that. So I'd rather get my money back out of it and put it into some other hobbies that I've got going on right now. I have big boxes for these. Let's see if I can grab this one. Look at that. Grab that. Right box. Yeah, exact right box. So again, these I'm not making money on at all. I sold this one for $45. I think we paid $50 for them new. And the whole thing with it was they have a chase variant. The chase variant was worth a lot of money. I bought 4 or 5 of them and didn't get a single chase in those 4 or 5, so I actually lost a bunch of money doing it. Again, I used to enjoy doing it I collect them. I still do to an extent, but not as crazy as I used to be. And I used to buy and sell them all the time. So that's what I was doing then. I don't do that now, so it's kind of just one of those things. I'm just trying to get space and get them out of my house. I don't want to move them for sure. So glad to see it go, but again, it's not really going out for a whole lot. We're definitely not making money on it. We're probably more likely losing money. All right. let's see, we're going to leave this one as it is. I think that is it, guys. If there's any questions or anything like that, let me know. I'm going to rant a little bit. Not rant, but tell you guys about what's going on with the channel and with kind of what we're trying to do with it. Obviously, guys, these live streams are the main focus. I enjoy doing these, and I appreciate all you guys that watch and hang out with us and stuff. I want to keep doing that, but I do want to grow the channel. We are reaching almost 250 subscribers, so we do want to do a giveaway of some sort. I still don't know what we're going to do with that yet, but it's going to be something good. It's not going to be trash, hopefully. I can find some good items to give you guys, maybe some reselling related items. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, we're coming up on 250 subscribers. We'll do the first one there, and then obviously once we hit 500, that would be great. I am recording videos. I've got 3 or 4 videos already recorded that I am going to be editing and trying to get out for you guys. I know I make that sound like it's a bad thing or something that I'm not excited about, and it's not the case at all. It's just it takes a lot of time to do it. So it's going to be one of those things that's just really hard for me to take the time and do it, because again, I don't get paid for it, which I'm not complaining about. I do this, I do this for the love of doing it. Obviously, I'm not trying to just get paid for everything. But it's hard to take time out of, my crazy weeks to do the edits. I want to do that though, because I do want to grow the channel and get it bigger and, get it to where we have a community and stuff like that, that we can, help each other out and so on. That's been the whole goal from the beginning. But like I said, the videos help do that. The last one didn't do too good, so hopefully I can come up with a better thumbnail, a better title and stuff, and get some better content, which we've been working on. But like I said, I haven't forgotten about you guys. I do have that stuff. It's just time to edit it and get that done. So that'll hopefully be coming. The Facebook page, it's coming also. I actually opened it, but I haven't gotten everything put over there yet. So we'll be getting that up. That way, if you don't follow me on Instagram and you prefer Facebook, you can check it out. Guys, I don't just push that to just try to get a following over there, but it is really cool to be able to share like photos and, updates and stuff like that that's going on, versus just constantly having to watch a whole video to get the news, so to speak. So I want to utilize that to kind of stay in touch and kind of show you guys more of what's going on than just right here behind this table. So if you haven't followed me over there and you have an Instagram account, check that out. We are doing the Facebook one here in a little bit. We've got the website that we've got going up for the hat website. That my goal is for this week to get caught up on getting listings done, get a whole bunch of listings done and get caught up again. And then next week we'll be working on the website and hopefully finishing that up. That website is going to be for my reselling business for selling hats. There may be a couple pages for like, YouTube related stuff. But for the most part, it is going to be for, hat reselling. And I'm happy to share that with you guys, because I'm curious how it's going to go, if it's actually going to take off, if it's going to be a dud, whatever it's going to be. But I'm happy to be able to share that with you guys. So I'm excited to hopefully show you guys that. And if it works, then be able to kind of help you guys, not help you, but show what I did, and maybe it'll work for you also. Because obviously the more revenue streams you can get coming in, the better. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. A lot of people, don't want to sell on more than one marketplace. They get caught up in one marketplace. And I'm the same way. I focus mostly on eBay. But it is not a bad idea to have these other ones set up, and especially at least halfway running. That way, God forbid something did happen with your account or whatever, even if it's temporary, you have something to fall back on. You're not out. That's why we're looking at doing the website and getting kind of another avenue of revenue in that way, just to have it there and hopefully, build up an audience on that. So I'm excited to share all that with you. I know I've only talked about it right now, but like I said, once we get the website up, we'll be able to share a lot more. And hopefully that'll be here in the next couple weeks. But if you guys have any ideas or topics you want to talk about, let me know in the comments or in the chat right now. Appreciate it. I'm running out of ideas. I know we've gotten a couple great ones last week that we're going to get to, but again, I got to figure out how to do this new setup. I thought I was going to save some time, but so far I've only saved 10 minutes. So we might have to figure out a little bit better, or just pick a weekend that I'm slower or whatnot. But we'll figure that out. We've got some ideas for that. But if you have any other topics you want to talk about, discuss, or it doesn't have to be my opinion, just, anything that you've got reselling related, let me know. Even if it's not reselling related, if it's life related, we're just here to hang out and talk and chat and all that good stuff, and give you something to entertain you while you do all those listings on a Monday. So I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. Hit that like button before you click out. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, like I said, follow the Instagram down below. If you're interested in bread and butter, I talk about it all the time, but you can check that out and link in the description to sign up. But you can also send me a message, and we can talk about that. I'm actually going to probably post a video. Maybe I'll do that too. I might drop a link in the description for a video explaining bread and butter from the man himself, Adam. That way, if you have questions beyond that video, you can let us know and sign up. But definitely want to check that out if you're interested in there. It's a great group of guys and girls over there that help out, and we're always happy to help out. But that's pretty much it. I think that's going to be it. Recon says good stuff today. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is probably the most concurrent viewers we've had the whole time on most of the most recent streams. So I appreciate all your support. I think that is it, guys. We are going to head on out of here, but we'll catch you in the next one. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you then.